Right, right now I probably should be working on the brave little under chopper that's parked outside there at the minute, but we're waiting on a few parts, and I've got another video in the buffer for that one, so keep your eye on that playlist. For now, to fill in the time, I'm back on this whale again. I've been trying to get this up and running on the road to use a go-to-work bike for weeks now, but other things keep on happening and forget and whatever, you know. I did go out on it the other week. Front brakes were binding a bit. I'd already done an overhaul on the back one previous video. I'm just going to dig in and give these a quick overhaul, see what's going on inside them, see how bad it is. The bike was parked up for a long time before I got it, but until now it had never been an issue. But this right hand one especially, that grabbed on tight as I was riding along in traffic. So that one definitely has to come apart, but we'll do the both of them anyway, and I'll as always I'll record what I'm doing. You know, you might end up doing the same job yourself. Not meant to be a how-to or anything like that, as you know, it's like a disclaimer, but you know, I've done this before, so you know, maybe it'll help you along the way. So get the camera set up and I'll get this off and show you. So you can see that okay. So yeah, mounts and bolts, easy enough. Those bolts there split the caliper. There's a couple more here on this little anti-squeal, anti-vibration shim thing, and of course the old 14 on the old feeder pipe there. I hope it's not too bright for the camera, but to be fair, it's too dark, right? Too hot right now to have that door shut. Let's just wrap it out shitty t-shirt and that expensive wheel there. Now, I'm going to change the fluid anyway, but I'm just going to welly a bolt in that just to stop it all draining out all over the floor. Not that I'm that fussy on mess, but no, it's brake fluid, don't like it. Just a habit I got into years ago. Yes. Now I need another one to clear our hands. So 1/8mm Allen key. Let's see. Okay, like everything on this bike, we need the big Ooga Duggers. Switch that out for the mains one. Off, just takes no prisoners. Okay, sorry, that was a bit seized up and a bit crusty, or somebody's like give that all the torque to stick them things on. Okay, I'll just go and drain this thing off and then set up around there to pull them apart, see how white and fairy it is inside. Okay, I hope you can see that all right. So I've just give it a little drain out, and planning ahead, we know we're going to need a 3mm Allen key for them little fellas. They look like they're going to be a laugh to get out. Got a 6mm bit for the splitter bolts, 14 that we used before for the banjo bolt, 17 is just there because that's that nut I put on there before. That's left that up in case I needed that for the 8, but we got that with the Ugga Dugger. I've got the big Ugga Dugger so set up on the floor in case these are a problem. I've got the little Ugga Dugger there in case that gets it first time, although that's proven not to be too good at the minute. We've got an 8 to get this out, although that looks like a stainless one, so that's always a bonus if you can get that off without. Oh, there we go. That's always a bonus if you can get them off that easy. And we've got a 33mm hydration pot there, so let's get this. So we can get this thing split out. Oh, yeah, I should mention as well that we got the Big Daddy vice there. Fits nicely on the fridge, you know. Real handy. Now these guys don't feel great. Let's give these a bit of a squirt. If one of them breaks off, I'm not even going to try and drill it out. I'm just going to go and buy another caliper. Oh yeah, they feel delightful. They feel amazing. Not. Let's just see if we can work some of this glue into it. That's alright. Brilliant. So bright, it's stuck in there. At least somebody in the past has actually gone away and put some stainless in there. Let's just let that wet spray just in there. Now they're not the standard bolts that go in there, which I just don't think they are. I don't think Suzuki would have sprung for stainless on that. Then there's a tip straight away. If you get nothing else out this video, stainless fasteners, and some molly slip. Nice, lovely. So get a podge up, get them pads out. It's not even going to go. Oh yeah. You can get them in stainless as well. I won't bother replacing it this time, but I'll order for I'll order one there for future, you know. So your position's better. with a Bendix. Never heard of them, but they're a double-edged pad, so try that. I will just mark them for the inner one. Two little dots in so I know which one's the inner one. And next is see if we can get these pistons moving. I flipped you around a little bit there. Let's see what I'm doing better there. Yeah, no great mystery here. We're just going to buzz these off. Somebody actually used some copper slip on that one. Cool. Okay, so that guy out the way, him out of there. See what we're dealing with here. So the fact it grabbed on while I was riding it, just without any heavy braking. I think I'd only done about 10 miles. The seals behind here, they get pushed out by the corrosion. You know, all this kind of like white fuzzy stuff. Well, that happens inside as well, and I live right by a river, so we see this a lot. You know, the salt and then the extra salt that they put on the roads. You know, to just look after them people that can't drive so good. And then, yeah, we end up with this. So I'm hoping I don't have to buy a load of seals. Often you can put them back with the other seals in there, but if you have the opportunity, then maybe renew them at this point. We end up doing this every year here where I live, so I'll just see how these go. I'll see if we can get these out easy enough. If I need to order a seal kit, I'll pause the video and there'll be a magical jump while you know, FedEx do their thing like. And so that one doesn't look too bad either, but there's been some bias there. There has been some bias because I'd say this side's probably R1. It's that's been binding. Now, with the advantage of the magic of YouTube editing, we've jumped forward. We're onto the other caliper, the one off the other side. Basically, what happened was that outside one, which I thought was the bad one, same except other side, it was pretty bad, and I learned a couple of things there. The pistons are made of aluminium, so my normal tool I use for whipping pistons out didn't work. It started causing a bit of damage, so I stopped before I got in too deep. Stopped recording. In the meantime, my next door neighbour Michelle came round, and she had a new headlight that needed fitting on her scooter. So we stopped on that, and we had to do a quick soldering job on the scooter. That's fixed now. In the meantime, while we were chatting and stuff, we set up the lathe and we got the lathe running, and we made a couple of extractor tools so that we could, look at that, that's bleeding, so that we could pull the pistons out without causing any damage, like an internal puller. These Hayabusas have two 24mm pistons, well, two 27s and a 24. So we made these little fittings. I machined down a rod end nut and put a taper on it, cut a couple of slots in this bit of bar, drilled it through, and that just fits in there like that, and we can use that to draw the piston out without causing any damage. I was actually in danger of causing myself a problem where I'd have to buy one or more pistons. As it happened, I stopped before it got too bad, and I've dressed it up in a lathe, and that's back fitted on the bike now. So I'll continue the video using this left caliper as the one to show you what I'm doing. In the interest of honesty and all that, you know. So pretty much back to where we left off with the right caliper. Here's the left caliper up to the same point where I got it to. Same thing again. The brake pads have been running biased. This side has not been as seized as the outer. So I'll get this in the vise now. Rejig the camera and show you what I've done with these little extractor tools. I know they look like shit, but you know, it works. I'm not a professional engineer or anything like that. I'm just a guy who has a lathe at his house. But basically, the way this works, they're both the same. I've got an 8mm hole bored all the way through, and then the other end is counterbored to about 12mm, and then I took one of these rod end nuts, which looks like that normally, and machined it down a little bit so it's got a taper on it. Right. That threads onto that guy there, and with the slots I've just put in it, just roughed them with an angle grinder, not an high-tech, not professional, but that fella and fits inside the piston. So when you get your 6mm Allen key and you start winding him on, he pulls up then into that 12mm counterbore and grips hold of the piston. I dare say that as it got, in fact, when Michelle was here before, she come up with a boss idea. Why didn't you mark them up for the size of hole that you've done? So that one's now marked at 21, which pulls out these 27s, and that one's marked at 18 or 17 or whatever it was to pull out these 24s. So I'll get it in the vise and position the camera so you can see what I'm doing. And in the interest of honesty, like I'll show you if it works or not. I have actually just done the other caliper this way. It didn't go quite perfectly to plan, but you know, it worked, and I managed to save the piston. I nearly screwed up. So there we go. Just tip you guys up there. I'm clamping this thing on the vise, so I apologise about the bouncing around. So, I'm not a movie maker, but I'm hoping that this shows you clear enough. I might do a bit of that, you know. Okay, can we see that all right? So that's how that works. That just comes out just about like that, so we'll get that in. And that tapered nut, I'll have to grip this with a set of mollies. If these become a regular tool, I'll grind some flats on to grip a spanner on there. But for now, just with that in there, and that mold grip. Sorry if that's shaking. As I say, I've got the camera clamped to the bench. That just comes out dead easy. You do have to undo the bolt and then just knock it off like that. So that's the little one. I'll switch the switch the bolts and the and that special taping. Well, it's not that special, but that special taping nut over to the next one. Still see that nice. There we go. How easy is that? A bit off camera before. It actually took like an hour to make that. You could probably do the same with a with like a rag bolt for you know, for fitting, like, I don't know, things to walls and floors and whatever. Two. This one's the same. Now I can feel straight away that's tight. You ain't just getting that with an Allen key. So we'll just just that one there being tight on its own tells me that these both needed doing anyway. That's tight on there. I might end up grinding a flat on this one anyway. Well, we'll try with the molly first. Oh, it is tight as tight. No, that is tight. We'll give him a bit more heat. Bit of a grease fire there. Guys, really in there. This is the problem with the other ones. We're going to go for full heat on this. Let's get these seals out the way. As if the grease catches fire again, at least they're not going to burn up as well and cause us a bigger problem. Alright, so that is warm. So let's carry on. I'll probably end up grinding a couple of flats on this, I think. So yeah, let me go away and do that. I'll grind a couple of flats on that because that's going to be better than messing around with the mold grips every 10 seconds. Bear with us a sec, back in a minute. Okay, so just went away and ground a couple of flats on here, so that 17 fits on there. Not perfect, but you know, I only eyeballed it. It's good enough for this. Right, let's get some fire on it again. I don't actually care if we screw the seals at this point. So, you know, we're committed to new seals anyway. So let's just give it a good boiling, like. Give that a shot. Oh, got a slight tiny bit of movement. Let's get a welding glove. So grip holder, yeah, that'll do. The other thing, our Michelle there from next door come round and she gave us a big pile of rags. Ooh. Yeah, we're moving now. A little bit more warm, I think. Seems to be going in the right direction now. That guy's just in there. But, you know, he's coming out. Oh, we're winning. There we go. Let's put that on there because that'll be warm. So, fish these seals out. They're actually having a burnt overall. As I say, we're going to replace them anyway. Okay, so that's the pistons out of that side. I'll set up a little bath of some cleaning fluid again. Next door neighbour has turned up with some brake cleaner, so we'll go ahead and fill a little bowl of that, and we'll give this a little scrub up and get on with the other side. So here we are with the other caliper half. Device. This is going to be like the other one. We are going to have to boil it. Fast forward for some cooking. Yeah. for you to see that, but I'm just removing that tool thing from the way. We get the piston off there. Let's just knock the bolt. There you go. That one is going to come out because the heat we've already got in it. Easy. Twos, and switch the tool out, the small one. Warm, I don't know if you can tell. It's clever, I'll probably go away and grind the flats on that one right now, but let's see how difficult it is when we use the old, we'll just grab it in the old hammer here, like. Yeah, that's not going to be a problem. So the lesson there is that the top pistons on Hayabusas are the worst ones to get out, because they've been the same on all 4 halves. So I'm going to reclassify this video as a Hayabusa brake piston removing tool, homemade. I know everyone hasn't got a lathe, but if you measure the hole in the piston and you can find a bit of bar, put some washers on, or a bit of tube, put some washers on, grind the taper on the nut, you know, make the same as that, but probably faster than what I did actually in the lathe. You know, these things cost me nothing. A set of pistons on one of these bikes is going to be like 200 quid or something. So we've saved, well, all the pistons bar one really. I am going to replace one of them. Even though I've dressed up, machined it down the lathe, I'm ordering the seals anyway, so I may as well just get one piston. But yeah, I'll wrap this one up for this video. I'll probably continue it once the seals arrive in a day or so for the reassembly. But yeah, that's what this one's about. Getting the things out without causing loads of damage. So yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the subscriptions. Cheers guys, keep it between the ditches.